Hey, girlfriends, we are doing something new today. We usually share a story, have a brave conversation, and today we're going to walk through a section of our new magazine celebrating being Everyday Brave magazine and our special edition with the Be Extraordinary Women's Network. And we have Nicole Cowley here with us today. Hi, Nicole.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, and you know what is so fun? So, ladies, if you're not familiar with the Being Brave tour and this whole movement that we've got, we're taking women through their stories, giving their stories voice, if you will, here on this podcast, in our magazine, in different and on our platform. And then we're following up because we don't want to leave you just in your story. We want to support you along the way. So we have a magazine called the Brave Magazine. And it's not like your regular magazine. It's not full of articles. It is filled with resources to take your next brave step. And we bring on women like Nicole to come alongside of us, walk us through like a little 10-minute little reflection or worksheet, these different things. And it's fun, girls. It's pretty, it's fun. And it's just an excuse to take 5 or 10 minutes for yourself. I just love it. So Nicole, welcome. Just would love to say thank you so much for bringing this resource. I went through it and I actually highlighted things because I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I needed it.
Oh,
It is
that's
really beautiful. Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
So it's called the Confidence Blueprint, and I'm just going to share your bio first, so the girls get to know you a little bit. It says Nicole Cowley is a best-selling author, identity reinvention coach, and certified hypnotherapist, helping high-achieving women live more aligned, authentic, and emotionally grounded lives. Her work has been featured in the Los Angeles Tribune Women's Journal and on a Times Square billboard. Okay, tell us about that. How many women can say that?
Super exciting and very surreal in so many ways. But yeah, it's something that happened just this year. And it was something that I cherish so much, a moment that was really special to me. And if you knew my backstory, you would probably understand that I never thought that would ever be the case. So.
Oh my gosh. So so tell us just a little bit about you. How did you come to be in this position here today, sharing a resource with us?
Sure. Well, thank you, first of all, Karen, for creating this amazing magazine with so many women sharing resources in here so that we can all rise into our best selves, especially for 2026, being able to really step into who we want to be. So thank you. Thank you for being brave and putting yourself out there. And so where I came into this work almost about 10 years ago, because my life from the outside looked really good. I had, a beautiful family and a nice home, great friends, a marriage, all those things. And so from the outside, it looked really good. But within our four walls, everything was crumbling. And I ended up I was a stay-at-home mom to my two children. I was a stay-at-home mom. At the time, they were both about 3 and 7. Almost overnight, I became a single mom. And from that place, I will tell you, when you go from being a stay-at-home mom to a single mom, the amount of fear that comes into your mind is like instant. It's instant. There's so many things. Not only is it, two children looking at you saying, what can we do now? But it's also the home, it's a job, it's the finances, it's your own health, it's and also a broken heart. So you have so many things that you're dealing with at the same time. But what I did know and what I learned along the way was that I just never was listening to myself enough. I never was. I was never really tapping into who I was. I was living, but not, I was really just surviving in many ways, not thriving. And eventually life catches up to you. And when it does, it really can wake you up. And so that is what happened. I really woke up and I started to look at the stories I'd had, what I'd been doing, my patterns, my habits. And I started to figure out what it is that I would love, what I would truly love, because I hadn't asked myself that in years. But now I was almost in a forced position to ask myself that because I was creating everything from scratch again. So that all led me to many, many years of reflection, certifications, being mentored in many different ways, and creating my own company back in 2018, which I never thought I would do either, which today is helping so many women who are stuck in stories that don't reflect who they really are, stuck in stories that make them not feel all that they can be. And today I help them really remove those stories and live into the dreams that are on their heart, so that they can have, not just live a half a life, live a full life.
Yeah, I love that. And that's what this reflection, this little worksheet that you have brought into the magazine really, really is about. So let's talk a little bit about that. So this is going to be all about all the girls out there. So ladies, if you are listening, I have put a link in the show comments, so you can download the this particular resource, if you will. And you can also subscribe to the free magazine and get all of the resources available. So, but first of all, so it's called the Confidence Blueprint. You're talking about identity. So kind of take us just real briefly, give us a real quick overview of what this walks you through and what you hope that women will get out of it.
Sure. So this resource is really near and dear to my heart, because what's always with me is helping women remember who they are. It's one of the things that is so special to me. And this resource helps you do that. And one of the first things that I ask people to do in this resource is to take a look at your life, and not from a place of judgment, from a place of like curiosity and reflection. Because what I notice with most women is they forget all the things that they have done to get to where they are today. And that is something that is super important to me, because many women don't celebrate as they go along. They do their things, they accomplish things, and they just expect it of themselves, but they forget what it took to go through all the things they've gone through in life. So I love to start there, so that I can start reminding them of their power, of who they are, their resiliency, their gifts that they have had all the way along that they just have forgotten about.
Yeah. And I love that you start with that, because I call it my book of proof. I had forgotten, and it took me going through a really tough situation. It was divorce as well. We have a good present innate with that, and relate. And but when we reflect back, because then it's almost like watching a movie. And because you don't necessarily have all the emotion that goes with it, but you can pick out the things. And it's like, dang, I was brave, and I had a lot of strength, and I tapped into my wisdom or my intuition. And you can pick out those pieces, but without help, sometimes we don't notice those.
We don't. And I think we've never really been taught to do that. That's never been something that has been, that we've learned over time, is to really reflect on our greatness and what we can do. Because when we do that, it really actually allows us to step into the next iteration of ourselves from a much higher place.
Right. And so you are kind of recognizing what was
Yes.
those things. And then you're going to talk about, or then one of the reflections is about identifying those feelings.
Yeah. So first we're getting that confidence back, because we're like starting to see the things that we've done in our lives, and we celebrate that, and we're like, wow, wow, I'm pretty incredible. I actually did do a lot. But then, what happens for a lot of us is that we've nurtured so many people in our lives. We've made sure everybody is doing great, that they are succeeding in their life, and we have forgotten about ourselves. And many women that I start to work with, one of the things we talk about is what do you want? And you and I've talked about this lots, that, what do I want? I don't know what I want. I haven't asked myself that for years. And, but instead of knowing what they want, they do know how they want to feel. And that is something that I continue to think about all the time, because once we know what we would love to feel, it will lead us to the experiences that will help us feel that.
Oh, and so I love that, and I told you before we got on here too that
Mhm,
I have really strong feelings about people asking me
mhm.
about what I want. You
Yeah.
know, I think so many women, we've been so focused on our families, you know, maybe it's our parents, our kids, you know, husbands, all these different things that we really maybe just it wasn't on purpose, but we just really didn't think about what we wanted. And
Mhm.
so I remember myself too, as I was walking through this, it kind of triggered a little thought. It's like, I still, people ask me, especially coming out of divorce, people said, oh, well, you can have what you want. You know,
Mm,
you can go do what you want. What do you want? People kept asking me, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know.
mm.
But I love the way you frame it. And sometimes I think if we just reframe things, it might speak to us differently. And I
Yeah.
love that you said, what do you love? And you know what? I love to go bike riding. I love to go to the beach. I loved, and I was thinking, you know, like you said too, about those feelings. What are some of those feelings that you want to feel? And you said too about taking it to you, when you identify that, taking it to a place that that might take you to an action or something that brings that, which I didn't think about. I think that's beautiful. But also, it takes you away from the things that don't provide those feelings for you.
100%, 100%. And I think, those feelings, they're super important. How we feel determines our results in our life, right? And how we're feeling on a regular basis. So if we can be in alignment with feelings that we would love, then we start to look, like I said, like we start to look for things that can bring that to us. If we want more freedom, we look for things that create that. If we want more happiness, we look for people or circumstances or experiences that create happiness. And the more that we concentrate on doing more of those things, we can't help but have those feelings come to life, which again will help you fulfill a beautiful part of your life.
Right. And I even can see this in a conversation. I have some girlfriends. So I'm 65. A lot of people I know are retiring and
Mm,
they don't know what is next. It's one of those big transitions in life that actually a lot of people don't talk about. You've had this life, you know, the career or whatever you were doing, and now you're like, okay, what's going to be that purpose or that, you know, what's going to fill my life? But if, you know, I'm thinking like even with, I can think of a particular situation. If I had maybe asked this girlfriend, well, what do you love? She's
mm,
really looking for purpose and what, and, you know, what is the rest of the next step going to look like? But if
yeah,
it's, what do you love? Wouldn't
yeah.
that be a beautiful conversation to have with a girlfriend?
Yeah, and it's such a good practice. I think it's such a good practice is to ask ourselves what we would love, because if we have not asked it, it's actually a brave conversation, is
Yeah.
to be able to express what you would love, right? Because if you haven't been able to say it, voice it, maybe you felt selfish, maybe, maybe your voice has been shut down a little bit, maybe, that you have stories about what that means to ask for what you would want. So when you say what I would love and you start to practice it, it becomes much easier. You start to really be able to build from that place.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mm.
I see we have some friends. Hi, Debbie is watching with us.
Oh,
She's here
hello,
with
Debbie.
as we are filming live and recording for the podcast. Nicole, one of the things that you said, so ladies, if you're looking at the worksheet at all on page
Mhm.
one of the things that I highlighted that really spoke to me, it says, not because you know, about talking about working, you know, doing something for yourself, you know, finding out what it is you love and doing it not because you're ungrateful, but because you can no longer ignore the parts of yourself you've tucked away. And this is
Mm.
kind of that unfolding of finding those pieces that you may have, you know, you may have tucked away because you were so busy doing other things.
Yeah, it's so true. I think we forget there's so many things that we would love to do or we wanted to do in our life, and then like the time just wasn't right, or this wasn't, we just couldn't do it at that time, and we do forget about it, and we forget about pieces of us. We forget
Mhm.
about that through stories. Most of the time, it's through stories of what we can or cannot do, things that we've taken on as our truth, but they're not always our truth. And but we may have told ourselves it's our truth for a long time. And once we start to uncover those, we start to see things a little bit differently.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as we walk through this, so you were talking about giving ourselves permission to kind of look back and stuff. And then you give us some prompts, and I love some of these, what have you navigated that you never thought you would, just kind of
Mhm.
realizing some of the things that we had, giving us permission to look back. And then girls, there's a section there. It says, what do I want to feel more in my life? And there's different examples, but feel free to put something that you want. This magazine is meant to be downloaded. There's a PDF version or there's a flip version, whichever you want. The PDF version, you get to write on, you get to circle. I highlighted calm and freedom and love and energy.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love all of those.
And then I added my own. I added vitality and
Mm,
vibrancy and just some different words. Girls, this is just like kind of brainstorm. Get some of those feelings out, some of those things that you would love to feel. So we would love to see in the comments, what is it? What do you want to feel
mm.
today? What do you
Yeah.
want to feel in your life? I would love to see what women are wanting, because then we can add it to the magazine too, girls. You can help be creative in the future issues, if you will. So
Mhm.
what comes next then?
So
In
after
your workshop?
that is, when we talk about feelings, it kind of sets the intention of what we would love. So those feelings kind of set the intention. And then what I do is I have a visualization that I have women walk through. And
Mhm.
this is a really, really, really important part of creating a life that you would love. Because many times we're coming into this in a place of fight and flight, or we've been, gone through a lot of things in our life. We haven't slowed down. We haven't been able to really see what we would love. In fact, many women come to me and they're feeling really stuck and super disconnected.
Mm.
And, many times that is due to the pace that we have gone in life and also our perspective. And so, in order to start to dream again, we need to go into a more relaxed state. I need to get the body into a more relaxed state, because once our nervous system can calm down, we can actually have an opening of our subconscious mind of what we would really love, a place where we can dream again. And many women, haven't done that and haven't taken the time to really slow down. But when we slow down, we actually get to see things in a much clearer way.
Oh, I love that. I love what you said. And I grabbed my heart, because it's a place to dream again. I
Mhm.
know when I was walking through some really difficult situations, I could have used this magazine then, actually,
Mhm.
and this worksheet, because one day my son came up to me. He goes, Mom, um, I have something for you. And he held out his hands. And I've shared this story other times too. He goes, Mom, I have a gift for you. And I'm like, there's nothing in your hands. And he goes, Mom, I have the gift of opportunity, so you can see all the possibilities. And that was what his version of, Mom, here, you can dream again. Just
Mm.
open your mind, open your, pathways. It doesn't even have to be real. You don't, he goes,
Yeah.
don't get dollars or anything like that. He goes, just dream. Just
Yeah.
see what the possibilities are. And that's what I love. So ladies, they're in the magazine too. You hit the link and you get to listen to Nicole to walk you through this little guided visualization.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of this magazine, is that it's got
Mhm.
real links in it.
Yeah, and, this visualization, is so important, because when we slow down, when we calm the body, we can start to dream again, and from that dream, you get to open up what it is you would love. So it's easier to express it, because you can actually see it, you can feel into it, and anything that we can create up in our mind or our heart can be created in our life, and I truly believe that when we're in that relaxed state, it's not just your imagination, it's actually your soul's calling. It's calling to you when you start to see yourself in this place of calm, and you start to see yourself living this healthy life, and you start to see yourself surrounding yourself with people that, lift you up.
Yeah.
It's your truth. It's your truth coming through of what you would actually love. And sometimes we just can't see that yet. And this visualization kind of helps it come to fruition. It comes up for you, and you can see it with a much clearer lens, and you can actually tap into your heart and really, breathe into a new way of being.
Yes, I love that. And we have some ladies that are here with us too. And Dr. Stacy Moore says that she wants to feel protected.
Mm,
Someone else said they want to feel calm, creative, financially free. Um,
mhm.
Stephanie said financially free. Just these different things. It's just thank you. And when we see what other women are loving about what they would love to have in their lives, it kind of clicks, so creates some more curiosity in our own list of things of how we want to
For
feel.
sure,
It
for
triggers
sure.
some things or in a good way, triggers in a good way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so after the guided visualization, there is, I think, was that oh, my pages are stuck together. That was kind of where you end up to start dreaming and visualize all of
Yes, yes. And then there's a few questions, like what stood out for you during your
that.
visualization, right? So when you were in there, I really highly suggest after you listen to it to have a journal right there, right by you, and ask yourself these questions because the questions are questions that we ask ourselves always lead us to what is really important to us. So what stood out for you the most? What surprised you? Because you might have had things that you just didn't even see before. What felt exciting? Maybe you are like, oh my gosh, I'm actually feeling excited again, inspired again. What tugged at your heart? What was it that tugged at your heart? And where did your body lean in and say yes? And I think that is such a beautiful thing is when we feel that yes inside, like I would love this, right? Especially after times of feeling stuck or feeling down or feeling lost. When you finally feel a yes again, it's like you're coming alive again.
Yeah. And one of the things I think that surprised me, especially when you talked about when I read it in here first, what do you love? It was like refreshing.
Mm.
It was like this breeze came by and said, you get to have what you love. And it just like took this pressure off of like having this checklist of what you want, and it
Mhm.
just it just brought it into a different space for me. And I think that surprised me. I'm like, oh, I can have what I love. And what would that look like? And so, yeah, so it's that permission piece too. So,
Permission for sure.
yeah.
Permission for sure.
Yeah. So, what do you hope that women walk away with after they walk through this reflection?
Yeah, I think lots of times I've talked about this before that in the new year, it's often you hear all the time, new year, new you. But I would rather for everyone to be new year, remember you. Remember who you are. Remember what you would love. Remember the times when you were young, that the things that lit you up. Remember who you were before the stories of life kind of fell upon you. And that's what I would love is for people to walk away remembering who they are, and who they are is spectacular. It's amazing. There's no one like them. There is absolutely no one like you.
Yeah.
And
And
what
what is coming up for me too is remembering when I was young and I had uh, what are they, spider bikes or no, I forget exactly the name with the banana seat and
Oh, yes, yes,
I
yes.
forget what those bikes were called.
I
They've just
don't know what
okay,
they're
girls,
called
if you
either.
remember, let me know. I, but yeah, that moment of freedom.
Mhm,
You're out on your
mhm.
bike, just having fun, laughing, going fast, your little things on your handlebars are
Oh,
waving in the
yes.
wind.
Yes. Oh my gosh, right? And that was when life was where you got to just be you, authentically you. You did what you loved, you felt free, you felt the most you. And that's what I wish for people when they go through this exercise is to remember themselves, to remember what they love, who they are, the magic that they can create in this life because it's true what you said is that we can create a life we love. We have the option to do it. It's just, we have to take the time to invest in ourselves again, come back to you.
Come back to you. The one thing that I just really love that you also said in this was celebrate. We are
Celebrate.
all about celebrating women here because we're
Mm,
on the road to celebrating 1 million women and their
yeah,
journeys and just walking together. And
yeah.
so as we close out, how are you celebrating you?
I actually have been thinking about this one, and it's interesting because I never used to celebrate at all very much. I just went from one task to the next to the next. But I've been sharing my celebrations with my children lately, and they
Oh,
are celebrating with me too. And it's interesting. My daughter, I want her to see the things that I have been challenged with and that I walk through, so that she can see that it's good to celebrate, that it's good to recognize who you are. It's good to take those brave steps, and that it's okay to celebrate, that you actually have permission
mm.
to celebrate you, because I know many women feel that it sometimes could be bragging or it could be boasting, and they don't want to be caught in that. And it's not about that. It's about, really recognizing the essence of you and who you are and feeling grounded from there. And that is a celebration in itself.
That is a celebration. I'm going to go to a couple of the comments here because we have quite a few women who are listening in as we are recording. And yeah, Debbie says, remembering you. Yes, that really stuck with her. Someone said that the bike was a Schwinn.
I know that name.
There
Yes.
was one day, oh gosh, they had a particular type name though. I'm going to have to look that up on chat. And oh my gosh. Sarah says, being who you are truly shifts things. What we can create from that space is incredible. Shannon says, thank you for reminding us that we can have the life we want. And Ashley says, that's true confidence. Yeah, celebrating is so important. Loving that. That was Shannon. Ladies, and Sarah's with us, and Debbie, and Dr. Stacy, and Stephanie. Oh my gosh, we have so many ladies here. But what I would love to suggest, ladies, is this little reflection, visualization, if I can say that word. It's a 10-minute little moment for you. And so you are worth it. You are worth the time to take to celebrate you. And so we invite you to download the magazine. We also have, I want to mention this. So how many magazines have the option where you can connect with the author of that particular piece and walk through it with them with that reflection? So Nicole has her information there. You can reach out to her. You can walk through this reflection with her. That most magazines don't have that. That is unique to us. And because we want you to take that forward step, and you don't have to do it alone. We are here for you. We will love on you. We'll walk you through that. And then they will always have next steps if you want to, continue down that path. So lots of options, and just sharing the love, ladies. That's what we're here for. Walking with you in your story as we walk forward. So Nicole, thank you for being with us, and thank you for sharing. This was just so fun, and I just have loved walking through this resource with you.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you for stepping into your vision, your bravery, and creating this for all these women, because I know we're way better together. We're always way better together, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful resource for so many. So thank you.
Yes. All right, ladies, we will see you next time. We have some other highlights for you, and we'll be walking through some more resources from the Being Brave magazine, and we'll have some fun. Come join us.